Welcome to Tiny Marketing. This is Sarah Noel Block, and this is the podcast that helps B2B service businesses do more with less. Learn lean, actionable, organic marketing strategies you can implement today. No fluff, just powerful growth tactics that work. Ready to scale smarter? Hit that subscribe button and start growing your business with Tiny Marketing. Hey. Welcome to season 4 of the Tiny Marketing Pod. I almost said Tiny Marketing Club, but it's the Tiny Marketing Pod. We are talking to you today, and I'm sick. So sorry, my voice sounds like crap right now, but I didn't want to miss my opener of season 4. This season, we have some amazing guests that I'm so excited to introduce you to. And to launch season 4, we're doing a series on LinkedIn. So the next 3 episodes are all about LinkedIn. And today I have the amazing Molly Godfrey joining me. She has the business Build, Impact, Convert. Hold on one second while I share the screen so you can see it for those who are watching. All right. So for those who are watching the pod instead of listening, this is Build, Impact, Convert's website. And she puts on one-to-one accelerators to help women leaders grow their businesses on LinkedIn. She's really freaking good at it. I subscribe to her newsletter. We're friends on LinkedIn. That's how I got to know her. I met her on Pollen, and we became friends through LinkedIn. So if you want to grow your LinkedIn presence, she's your girl. Make sure to follow her, and I'll put her link in the show notes page. But yeah. So stay tuned. I'm talking to Molly, and enjoy this episode. There it is. Do you think you could introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks again for having me. I'm Molly Godfrey, based in New York, co-founder of Build, Impact, Convert. My business partner and I run a LinkedIn growth agency for leaders and founders who want to expand their presence online without burning out, without feeling overwhelmed through content strategy and LinkedIn messaging.
Yes, and we met through Pollen, I think it was, and everybody just raves about you on Pollen. They're like,
Yeah.
"Talk to Molly. She's the expert on LinkedIn."
Oh, it's a great group. I'm so glad you found it. You're newer, right? You joined this year?
I did join this year, yeah. I'm still deciding if I'm gonna stay in it or not. Everyone seems cool, though.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's a cool group.
Yeah, so we're going to dig in. So this episode is specifically for founders who want to grow on LinkedIn, and that is so many people who listen to this show. I get that a lot. So let's start with what I hear the most from founders, and that's I don't have the time to do this. I don't know what to talk about, and I don't have the time. So how do you address that when let's say I'm a founder and I'm like, Molly, help me. What's the first thing that you do?
It's totally understandable. I don't even have the time for LinkedIn, and I run a LinkedIn business. So definitely not alone. I would say the first thing is take the pressure off. Like, you don't have to be on there 24/7. You don't have to even be on there every single day. We literally have all of our clients posting 3 times a week. So for some people, that's a huge relief. Also, for some people that have never posted, they're like, oh my God, 3 times a week. But you definitely don't have to be on there every day, and know that with the right strategy and focus, you can have a huge impact on LinkedIn without a ton of effort. But most people just have no idea what they're doing, myself included when I started. So you're not going to see results without an intention and without a strategy, is the first thing I'll say.
That is so accurate. I started LinkedIn in 2006. I think they're probably still in beta. They were brand spanking new. Um, but over the years, I've consistently been on there, and I didn't gain traction until the last, I don't know, maybe 2 years.
I
So,
believe it.
yeah, you can be active on it and still not gain traction if you don't have that strategy to rely on. Now, you mentioned that you want to You have strategy meets authenticity. Like, what does LinkedIn algorithm really like, but what also works for you? So, can you explain that to me?
Totally, totally. So I came from the blogging, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest world before LinkedIn. So it's super important to also just have the right mindset. Like LinkedIn is a totally different place. I love the idea of repurposing, but just a hard truth, you cannot take the same content from other social media and put it on LinkedIn. That's like mistake number one that a lot of people make in the beginning. So you have to understand that LinkedIn is a very unique platform. It's originally built for job seeking, networking, corporations to do recruiting, talent search. So you have to know you have to know your audience. You have to know where you're
Yeah.
showing up. So you can't, the storytelling is very, very different than you'll find other places. And B, you have to play to and leverage what LinkedIn likes, but also find that intersection of what's actually authentic to you. So I would say it is more professional. So you've got to understand the hearing level of that audience to really get traction.
Yes, you are accurate. It is professional. People don't wanna hear about like, too much about your personal life unless it ties into some sort of learning point. The post that I pay attention to, it's always like, "Oh, wow. That's pretty freaking smart. I'm gonna save that one." Something
Yeah,
that I can take with me and take action on. And so let's talk about the LinkedIn algorithm. What right now, 'cause it constantly changes, what right now does LinkedIn really like?
it is constantly changing. They're doing a lot of behind the scenes. They just launched games, which I think is very interesting. So just launched games.
I noticed that too.
Haven't experimented with that. They're apparently in the midst of launching like a shorts, like a YouTube
Mm,
Shorts or a
I got
TikTok video
access to
platform.
that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Cool. Um, and it's really a mixed bag. I would say still to this day, this happened to me last week. It's good writing. The algorithm likes good writing. Like last week I had a post. I just, to be honest, like nailed the hook. And I was like, wow, that post did so well in comparison to the rest of my content because I just like got the hook right, you know? So I would say kind of an annoying answer. The algorithm likes good writing. It likes when you are speaking about the subject matter that your profile is built for. So if you're
Mhm.
going to wayward, I also am like, oh, I really was just like in line with what my profile is built for. And then it's really a mix. Sometimes our short form gets reshared and does really well, but I will say a long form kind of explainer, like going in depth into one of your frameworks, those are also doing well right now too. So even it keeps me daily on my toes, to be honest.
It
Daily.
really does. It's constantly changing where like 1 month I'm killing it, so much engagement. And then I'm like, what did I do wrong? Why is LinkedIn mad at me this week?
I know. Well, I wrote this post this morning and I was like, "Oh, there's so much psychology in here. This is gonna be a banger." Nothing. I wrote a post last week, so informal. It was just literally how I would speak as a human, and it's just honestly something that I personally feel blew up, and I was like, "Wow. All right. Got it,
Yeah, I
LinkedIn."
don't I don't get you, LinkedIn gods.
Yeah.
Why are you loving this one?
So I'll go back to one of your opening questions. The other thing to save time and save just mental peace when it comes to LinkedIn is you have to know what are the right metrics for you. You will get burnt out, you will get overwhelmed, you will get exhausted if you're paying attention to the wrong things and comparing yourself and trying to be a different type of creator that makes sense for your business because there's just different strategies for your intention. So knowing how you're meant to be showing up depending on your business goals is also super important.
That's really good advice. I have an itch in my throat. Um,
It's that time of year.
yes, yes, it is. Allergies are rearing their ugly head right now. Um, something I noticed about LinkedIn lately is remember the carousels were doing so,
Yes,
so well and they're dead now.
totally. I still love a good carousel, but I agree. I don't think that's the tool for audience growth like it was year and a half ago, even six
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah, probably like 2023, they were on fire. And now it's like, "Nah, it's all
Now
right."
it's the tweet screenshots. So
Yeah, it's true.
I was just looking at a friend, all her tweet screenshots are going viral. So
That is true. I did one of those, and I barely put any content as part of that post, and that
I
one blew
remember
up.
that one. Yeah, I remember it was it the one that I love this post? Your real internet friends support.
Oh, yes, yes, it was about biz dev and, like, making your business friends, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah, that blew up, and it was mostly just a screenshot of a tweet.
there you go.
Yeah, but I found that that topic really resonated because anytime I talked about it, it blew up, so maybe it was more the topic than anything.
Yeah, but again, to go back to your other question, the LinkedIn algorithm, it just wants conversations happening in your content. It wants it to be social. It wants people to be collaborating. So the more replies you get in your comments, the more ways you're getting tagged in your own content, the more that's going to be pushed out. So I always like to try to reply, like if my co-founder has a post, I will try to reply to someone else's comment within the comment feed just to like start
Hmm.
another thread of conversation because that does boost it.
That's really good advice I've never heard before.
Oh
So
yeah.
stealing that. Okay. So how do you work with founders? You have them post 3 times a week. Is there anything else that you're advising them to do to grow?
Yeah, if I should really make a post about this. If there was one thing to do every single week, no matter what, regardless if you post, regardless how you feel for the week, max out. If you have premium, max out your 100 connections that you can make every week.
Mm,
So make industry lists, go through the communities. That's how we met. We literally met through a community,
yeah.
me adding people on LinkedIn. Go through communities. Sometimes it will even suggest your address book. Be consistently adding that 100 people a week. I can't tell you how many times we've added someone just with a simple message. Hey, came across your profile, or hey, we help female founders. It doesn't have to be spammy or pitchy. It can just be a hey, saw you on here. This is what we do. Let me know if it makes sense to chat. If you do that 100 times every single week, the way that that compounds, we are getting so much business from the people that we added anywhere from like September to February because we added them. They've been lurking in the audience. Now they're reaching out and like, hey, I saw your post. I want to chat now. So it's a phenomenal kind of passive but important biz dev strategy. Just add 100 connections every single week.
That is really good. I am not good about that. Only when I
Yeah.
attend events. I go to virtual events, and I'll immediately go in the chat, like, "Everybody drop your LinkedIn profile," and I'll connect with everyone then, so it's always in spurts, but I by no means do it that way, which I'm going to start doing.
And again, it comes down to your business goals. If you're newer to LinkedIn, don't really know what you're doing, that's a great way to just again build an audience, get some momentum. You will eventually get to the point where it's organic. Like organically, you're having 100 new followers come in every week, so you don't have to do it
Yeah.
forever. But I would say if you're trying to get some momentum, it's a great. And again, you can have a team member do it. Just get those added to the audience every week.
That's true. Just have some sort of conversational, script that your team member can use so it doesn't sound spammy when you're reaching out to someone. I'm
Yeah.
at that point where I'm getting like 100 organics, but, I mean, I could do more. I'm not doing anything to do that at this point.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So we're connecting with our 100 a week and we're posting 3 times a week. What's your stance on commenting? How important is it?
It is. It is and it isn't. There's just weeks that like last week I was traveling. I was at a conference. This week I had tons of comments I need to reply to. You never know. So I got my mom on LinkedIn. She's a founder. She's in her 60s, and I love it because she doesn't necessarily know what she's doing, but she's just having fun on there. And she left a comment on I can't remember. It was a bigger post about uh, products that women have invented. So she left a comment on there. The comment went viral. She got like 50 likes on that comment.
Wow.
And I was like, A, go mom. But B, if you if and why it did well is she just added her really unique, authentic POV on that. So comments they're like mini billboards for your business. Again, if your headshot's clear, if your headline's clear, you leave a comment, a thoughtful comment that provokes some sort of new perspective in someone else, they'll likely go to your profile. If your profile is optimized, they may literally convert from that comment. So we've gotten a lot, and we've gotten a lot of business and through comments, and also when people tag you. So they are important. Don't burn yourself to the ground, trying to leave comments every single day for hours and hours. But I would say once or twice a week, get on there for 20 minutes just to leave. And what you can do to save time on that is make a list of your strategic partners. So Sarah, you're one of mine. I love leaving comments on yours. I try and prioritize getting on your content.
Oh, thanks.
Just make your
I
list
have
of
you
people.
I have a bell ringing for yours too.
Oh, I love it. Because, like you like the work that you're doing. So just strategically making that curated list, it should only take you, if you do that once or twice, two or two-ish times a week, it can be really impactful. Yeah.
Yeah, I have found that my biggest growth weeks are when I make it a priority to comment on other people's posts, especially you said strategic partners. It has been really helpful to find ones that have the same ICA as you, ideal customer avatar, because the people, your dream clients, are already commenting on that other person's posts. So they're seeing yours. You end up in their feed when you do that.
Totally. The best advice I can give is think about, this is how I grew my first business so quickly, is I just nailed it with my strategic partners. I found a coach who I am now really good friends with. I found a coach who did something just slightly different, but had the exact same audience. And so we
Mhm.
would just comment on each other's stuff all the time. And just so many of her people came over. We eventually did a big collaboration. My people would go to her. So think about someone who does something tangential, but not quite it. If you nail it,
Yeah.
you just got to find those like one or two people. And again, build an author. We're now really good friends, but the potential is there to just really take advantage of what other creators have built and, reciprocate, support their
Yeah.
content.
It's borrowing other people's audiences. I talk about this all the time, especially when you're first starting out and you're at net zero.
Yeah,
um, I rely very heavily on borrowing other people's audiences, building strategic partners, and building a platform where that you could leverage to build those relationships in the first place.
totally.
Makes everything
Yeah.
so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh, you have what's authentic to the founder's story. Can you tell me what that is?
Totally. So we did a challenge, I guess about a month ago now, and we really dug into this with the people that joined. But you want to think about like what are the values of your decision maker? So for us, our founders value courage, risk taking, persistence, resilience, and they resonate with that. Those are values they try and embody. Those are values that are important to them. But the trick then is like what of your own story does that authentically again intersect with? So
Mm.
um for me leaving corporate, for me starting a second business, thinking about those parts of my own journey where I had to keep trying. I worked for startups and they didn't work. I moved cross country to start a new career. So you want to think about like what are those authentic, like pivotal, I would say the pivotal moments in your life. Like what are those pivotal moments that you can turn into a parable or a story lesson? LinkedIn loves those. But again, it's got to intersect with you don't want to just talk about yourself to talk about yourself. It's got to intersect with what your decision maker, how that will build more trust with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's important too to talk about the mistakes that you've made. It feels, I
Yes.
mean, it's a lot more authentic saying, well, things aren't as perfect as they look on social media. This is the mistake I made. This is how you can avoid it.
Oh, that content is literally so much of our business has come from the mistakes, the quote unquote failure, what we learned, taking account. If you take accountability for the ways you messed up, we love it. We love humility in leadership.
Yeah, it just feels so real to hear that. And it gives you permission to try new things because, well, they messed up. I can try something new and mess up. And I've
Totally.
messed up a lot.
Oh, so many. The lessons are rich in entrepreneurship.
Yes, yes, they are. Well, okay. I'm looking at number 3 on your list of your learning points, how to convert followers into buyers through testimonials and case studies. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I was super excited to talk to you about this. I was just at the conference I was at last week, and it was this workshop on sales messaging versus marketing messaging, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is literally what we teach our clients to do." But that
Did you
wasn't how
post
I was.
about that?
I haven't yet, but I totally am because she communicated in a way that really had me understand that's actually the work that we're doing with this point is marketing is super important, you know, getting visibility, brand awareness. But if your intention on LinkedIn is to get business and see conversions, you also have to have sales messaging. And one of the easiest, I'm going to say, yeah, I guess the easiest and kind of can fit in with the rest of LinkedIn content and not stand out as like, hey, this is a sales post, is telling a story about a transformation you took a client through. So so our company name is Build, Impact, Convert. So build an audience, impact with your story, and then convert them with those sales messaging posts embedded in a client case story, a client transformation. Because at the end of the day, people want to know if I hire you, you're going to get me results. So how can you, again, authentically and tastefully do that in the context of a LinkedIn platform?
Yeah, I think I saw one of your posts recently where you were talking about the one of your clients and how they brought on new clients through LinkedIn. It was like a very specific example, but I was like, that works.
Ah,
Molly knows what she's talking about.
yeah. Yeah, I love storytelling. I like to try and fit it into, you know, you know, where they started and have the post start with what what's the dream of your ideal client. So I'm trying to think of which one you might have seen. You know, we helped a client get booked out. We helped her. She got so much business from LinkedIn. She doesn't have time for LinkedIn anymore. So that might have been
That
it.
I think was the one that pops out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a super important part of the strategy. A lot of this is the mistake we see a lot of founders make is they're doing all marketing, which is great, but they're not doing any sales marketing or messaging. And so super important to build that in and really think about what is the dream outcome your decision maker wants. How can you
Mm.
take them through a story of how you did that for someone else? We all the time, women or founders say, you know, we hired you because you post about the results that you get for your clients all the time. And I was like, great, it's working. Love to hear that.
Yes, brilliant. Now you do the same and you'll get the same results.
Yeah. Yeah. It's overlooked, but super important.
Mm, yeah. I how to create compelling subject matter expertise through LinkedIn content. So, one thing
Tricky.
before we move on to that point, which is the final point, a more passive way to sell through your LinkedIn posts is like a postscript kind of thing. I call it a post signature for my clients. It's just constantly reminding them what you do, the transformation that you pull your clients through, and who you do it for. And it's passive and easy. And I have started getting so many more DMs for my service after I started doing that.
I love it. Yeah. People love the PS. They love the PS.
And emails too. If you're doing an educational email, add a PS with some action that they can take to work with you, and you'll get more replies. People just
Totally.
forget. They forget that they can work with you and not just learn from you.
Totally. It's such a good point. Yeah. Yeah. Really power and not a ton of extra work to add a couple lines of impactful text at the bottom.
Yeah, I copy and paste it. I have it in my Apple Notes, and I just copy and paste it at the end of all of my posts.
I love it.
So, how do you decide what to talk about on LinkedIn?
It's a great question. It goes back a bit to again your decision maker. Like what are they struggling with? What in your experience, if they started to understand, and also knowing like what stage of the buyer journey they're at. So do they need to be educated that LinkedIn's important, or do they know LinkedIn's important but they need to be educated on how to use it better? So knowing which stage they're at, but
Mhm.
also what you want to be known for is also part of it. Yes, it's about your audience, but what do you like at the end of the day? What do you if you walk into a room, what do you want people to be like? Oh, that's Kathleen. She's the so and so expert. So what do you want to be known for? And then isolating within that, isolating the potent expertise that you can teach. So we in our work, we've got, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 evergreen frameworks of how you can take these bigger ideas and start to build them into pieces of content. So the teachable pieces, the comparison pieces, the framework breakdowns, your observations, your future predictions. So how to do that is, again, really going to depend on A, your intention, but B, what you want to be known for. And also, I'm sure you know there's a lot of testing. You're going to have to test and see what your audience resonates with,
Yeah.
what leads to conversions, and what leads to people being like, oh, that was it. I want to hire them to know more about that, or to apply that to my business.
Yeah. I always say marketing is a lab. You need to have a hypothesis and test it and see what works.
Yeah.
And you know what? A quarter from now, it might not work anymore, and you have to test out
Yeah,
something new.
totally. And also you have to, I love this combo because you have to remove yourself. Yes, like what you want to be known for, but also within that, it may not, you can't have too many preferences because it may not be the exact piece of it. They may, your audience is going to inform really what they want to know about a lot too. So you have to not take things personally either.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I am just at a loss of what to post about, I'll do 2 things. I'll look at whatever my core content is, like, what did I release most recently? Can I break a small piece of that and expand on it
Yeah,
and make that the post? And the other thing is, like, breaking apart an offer into little pieces. What would people care about, or what's an objection that comes up when I'm talking about this offer? Could I post about that? Those are easy ways to find something to talk about.
totally. Yeah, the questions people are asking you in enrollment calls, the DMs that you get. Yeah, answering people's questions or objections is a fantastic piece of content.
Yeah. I'm gonna one sec. Resumed. Okay. I want to know how people can work with you.
Oh, that's a great question. Yes, our signature offering, we do a lot of strategy and consulting. So if you're a founder and you're like, I know my decision makers on LinkedIn, I A, want to be getting leads from it, and B, want to have a more robust online presence, we'll sit down with you and we will walk you through the messaging that's going to convert through your LinkedIn profile, walk you through a content strategy, coach you for a month while you're implementing all the new content, give you feedback, and have it be optimized for the platform. So that's our 6-week, what we call our LinkedIn Accelerator Intensive. The other way is we run a challenge quarterly. So we just finished one. Our next one will start end of August and begin in September. So our Your Story Gets Business Storytelling Challenge. And then we're also rolling out a whole bunch of digital products. So if you go to our website, we've got in-depth lead gen workshops, content workshops, and general LinkedIn how-to workshops on our website as well.
I love that. So I have a quick question. Is the
Yes.
accelerator one to one or is it group?
Great question. All one-to-one. So we do everything in Notion. So we custom build out a whole Notion hub for your business. So a lot of it's async. The rest of it is over Zoom and one-on-one. But at this time, we don't have a group cohort. We enjoy the one-on-one work.
Yeah, I get that. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm just branching out into group now
It's a
after a
whole,
100 years.
yeah, it's a whole different business. But I
It
see the
is.
value in the coaches and consultants that offer it.
So go find Molly over on LinkedIn, and I'm going to have that in the show notes page when this goes out to the pod. And thank you again for joining me.
Thanks so much, Sarah. This was a really fun combo.
You love all things tiny marketing, head down to the show notes page and sign up for the wait list to join the Tiny Marketing Club, where you get to work one-on-one with me with trainings, feedback, and pop-up coaching that will help you scale your marketing as a B2B service business. So I'll see you over in the club.